Camp Hancock, Clarno Basin. We have come to camp to learn about Oregon's high desert and to explore. Today we set off on a hike.
The flowers here are small and hidden. You have to look hard to find them along the trail. The flowers are small because water is hard to come by. The climate here in the Clarno Basin is usually hot and dry. It rains this morning, but the average rainfall here is only 14 inches each year. Plants here have had to adapt in many ways to the area's arid environment. Small plants grow under larger ones to protect themselves from the sun. Their leaves are small and round to prevent losing water through evaporation. They are sometimes shaped like a bowl to collect rainwater. They can also store water in their leaves. These types of plants are called succulents. Desert plants often have deep roots, which can help them survive during the long periods between rains. Some plants stay as seeds during a dry season. Mosses that are black when completely dry can turn instantly green when they get water. Flowers are very important in the ecology of this environment because they help attract bees that pollinate the other plants in the area. They prevent erosion because their deep roots hold the dirt in place. Stopping to notice the small flowers and plants shows us that life occurs even in places that we first thought of as uninhabitable.
As we continue our hike, we see burnt trees and charred grass, the remains of a fire from 2 summers ago. Almost 90,000 acres were burned in this area. This fire, like most fires in this area, was caused by a lightning storm. The summers in the Clarno Basin are dry and hot and the grass turns brittle. Conditions are perfect for wildfires. Wildfires happen every 5 to 10 years in this area. As we walk, we notice the destructive power of the fire. Juniper trees completely killed. Junipers are full of sap, which can cause the trees to explode into flames during fires. After the fire, invasive species have a chance to grow in the disturbed areas because there's no competition for resources. Some of these plants include thistles and sheetgrass. The native bunch grass, unlike the exotic juniper trees, is well adapted to the regular fires. Its roots hold water, so even when the top of the grass burns, the plants can recover from the fire. Fire plays an important role in the landscape because it controls the spread of non-native vegetation and puts nutrients back in the soil. The further we hike, the less we see the black traces of fire as ugly. We start to see the fire's scars as part of its natural beauty.
Even though the Clarno Basin gets very little rain, the hills and cliffs are shaped by water. Erosion exposes towering buttes and jagged outcroppings. As we look closer, we see more traces of water. It's hard to imagine that this area was once completely covered by what is now known as the Pacific Ocean. Nowhere else in Oregon can you find such rich fossil beds as in the John Day Formation. The fossils we discover reveal the leaves of plants that lived in the Clarno Basin during a much wetter, more tropical time. These fossils are of plants that lived as far back as 40 million years ago. These leaves were once covered in mud. Over time, the mud solidified and the leaves decayed, leaving a preserved imprint. Fossil imprinting is a basic mold of what the object once was. They can be formed with sandstone, shale, and volcanic ash. By walking through the Clarno Basin, we get to see what plants looked like millions of years ago. Not everyone gets to learn history by walking through it and getting to touch evidence of the past. Sometimes we need to preserve these things just as nature has millions of years before us.
By the time we reached the peak, we were so tired. Some of us even lay down on the ground. However, we were rewarded by the amazing view. Seeing how all the small things we had seen fit together to create life in the Clarno Basin. And the fact that dinner was waiting for us back at camp.